Good evening and welcome to the July 15th regular meeting of the East Point City Council. Madam City Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilmember Shropshire. Councilmember Freely. Councilmember Ziegler. Councilmember Cummings. Councilmember Mitchell. Councilmember Butler. And Councilmember Martin Rogers. Mayor Holiday Ingram, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Is Pastor Jamie Vernon here? Awesome. From Tri-Cities Church, we'll come and give our invocation, followed by the pledge to the flag. If you can stand and remain standing.
All right. Let's pray. Father God in heaven, we thank you so much for a night like tonight, that we're able to gather together freely to discuss the work of this city we love, the people we love, the businesses we love. God, I pray for wisdom, for your guidance, for your sense of peace throughout the discussions tonight. And God, in a world that seems sometimes to have gone crazy, God, we thank you for this opportunity to be in this place, a place of peace. And so we pray your blessing over tonight's meeting. In Jesus' name, amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our Sergeant at Arms this evening is Lieutenant Farmer. Thank you so much for your service this evening. Presentations and announcements. We all are definitely aware of the violence that took place at a former President Trump's political rally over this past weekend. Violence has absolutely no place, period, and definitely not in political campaigns or discourse. And so definitely extending prayers to former President Trump, his family, all those who were there, as well as to the family of the person who lost their lives during such a senseless act of violence. Regardless of party, that really doesn't matter. We're human, and we should be able to engage with each other with civility, respect, and whether we agree, we can agree to disagree respectfully and not be disagreeable, and really continue to serve. And so definitely wanted to acknowledge that at the beginning of this meeting. Again, prayers and condolences to the person who lost their life, the family of the person who lost their lives during that act of senseless violence, as well as protection over former President Trump, as well as all who were gathered, and all of us. Just a spirit of peace and civility and respect hopefully will permeate throughout this country. And again, that we can be able to engage and agree to disagree, but not be disagreeable, and be respectful and civil to one another. Any other presentations or announcements?
Yes,
Councilmember Martin Rogers.
thank you. Madam City Clerk? Yeah, thank you. All right, good evening, East Pointers. I just wanted to say that the Ward D Community Cleanup and Birthday Celebration, my birthday is July 13th, was a huge success. And this was a kickoff event to the Ward D Gets Lit campaign, Ward D Gets Litter. The event was executed with care, precision, and purpose. 6 different areas in Ward D were cleaned, which included Desert Drive, Washington Road from Camp Creek, I-285, Yates Road from Janice Drive, the frontage road along Camp Creek, 4505 Yates Road, Hammerskull Drive, leading up to Brookview Elementary School. This could not be possible without acknowledging Georgia Works, Miss Frances Kennedy, Blessed Divas, Mr. and Mrs. Stanley, and a special shout out to East Point's own Michael Dixon. Mr. Dixon came and really was very helpful in getting what we needed done out there on 4505 Yates Road. My Heritage Park neighbors, Lakeside Preserve neighbors, and the neighbors in the Sun Valley community, and people that were just walking by in general stopped to help us clean up various areas of Ward D. So thank you so much for your support, and thank you most importantly for being engaged East Pointers.
Any other presentations or announcements? Up is committee reports. Do we have any committee reports? I know we have some upcoming committee meetings. HR committee is still looking at grievance policy and evaluation, performance evaluations of our direct reports. And the Budget and Finance Committee is still monitoring variances, month-to-month variances, as well as looking at a budget calendar for fiscal year 2025. Adoption of council agenda. Is there a motion?
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Councilwoman Shropshire.
I would like to make a motion that we approve the council agenda.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Approval of city council minutes from the regular July 1st regular meeting of East Point City Council.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I make a motion that we approve city council regular meeting on July the 1st.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Motion, next up is approval of the minutes from the special call meeting on July 8th, 2024.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I make a motion that we approve the city council special call meeting on July the 8th.
Is there a second? It's been moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries. Next up is public hearing. I'm going to turn it over to our interim city attorney to read the rules. Both of these are zoning matters, so the rules should be the same. Attorney Wiggins. Attorney Wiggins, your mic.
Needed to locate the rules. I don't have my folder that I usually have with those rules in it. Give me 1 second. I believe Madam Mayor, it's Rule 28. I am usually more prepared than this. Forgive me. Okay. So the rules for public hearing are as follows. A public hearing shall be conducted by the city council. Oh, no, that's not it. Please, 1 second, Madam Mayor. I am not finding the rules. Yes, the public hearing zoning rules. I got them, Madam Mayor. Before adopting any change to the zoning maps or text of the zoning ordinance, the city council shall hold a public hearing following the public hearing by the Planning and Zoning Commission where a recommendation was made on the petition. Public hearings before the City Council shall be conducted as follows. The presiding officer will call for a motion to open and close the hearing. The presiding officer or his or her designee will introduce the proposed zoning amendment before the City Council. Staff will then be called upon to present the Planning Commission's recommendation and summarize the staff's written report. Persons both favoring and opposing the proposed amendment will then be provided an opportunity to address the council. The applicant for the proposed amendment or applicant's designated representative, if any, will be entitled to speak first, followed by other speakers in favor of the proposal for a total of 15 minutes. Those who oppose the proposed zoning amendment will then be permitted to speak for a total of 15 minutes. By majority vote, the council may increase the total time for speakers, provided that each side is given the same amount of time. If there is more than one speaker for a side, the presiding officer may limit the time allotted to each individual speaker other than the zoning applicant. The zoning applicant may reserve a portion of his or her allotted time for rebuttal. Speakers must adhere to the rules of decorum. Prior to speaking, each speaker shall identify himself or herself and state his or her current address. Each speaker shall speak only to the merits of the proposed zoning decision under consideration, shall address remarks only to the council, and shall refrain from making personal attacks on any other speaker. The proposed officer may refuse a speaker the right to continue if, after first being cautioned, the speaker continues to violate the rules of decorum. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Can I get a motion to open the public hearing for agenda item number 1?
Motion to open the public hearing for agenda item number 1, request for special use permit for a habitable accessory structure, 3542 Carriageway.
Is there a second? It's been moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries. The floor is now open for a public hearing. Mr. Brown, I see Ms. Smith at the podium. I'll have them give a brief overview before calling speakers.
Okay, thank you. In reference to case number 2024U-001-04, property located at 3542 Carriageway, this is a use permit. The applicant is Mr. Gerald Clark. The current zoning of the property is R1, which is our single-family residential zoning district. And the applicant is requesting to construct a habitable accessory structure at the property. As stated, the current zoning is R1, which is our single-family residential district. The property has a future land use map designation as suburban neighborhood. Here's a copy of the site plan that's proposed. The accessory dwelling unit or habitable accessory structure is proposed at 29 feet by 29 feet in the rear yard of the property. Planning Commission and staff have made a recommendation of approval.
Alrighty, thank you so much. We're here for a public hearing. Anyone who would like to speak in favor of the request for a special use permit for habitable accessory structure at 3542 Carriageway, come forward at this time. Anyone who would like to speak in favor of the request for a special use permit for a habitable accessory structure at 3542 Carriageway, come forward. Anyone who would like to speak in favor? Anyone who would like to speak against the request for a special use permit, please come forward at this time. Anyone who would like to speak against the request for a special use permit for a habitable accessory structure at 3542 Carriageway, please come forward at this time. Anyone who would like to speak against? Can I get a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Is there a second? It's been moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries. Is there any further action on this item? If there's a desire to move forward and with adoption or in taking action on the ordinance, a waiver of the first reading is required first.
Madam Mayor, I make the motion that we waive the first reading.
Second.
Moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries. Do we have anybody here? Because I'm not able to see anybody who any of the council members who press their mic on my screen. Any further action on this item?
I make the motion that we approve the special use permit for 3542 Carriageway.
Second.
Madam Mayor, there are conditions, so if the motion needs to include the conditions.
So I think if the motion, hold on just a moment before I say this. I think if the motion is to adopt the ordinance, the conditions are in the ordinance, correct? Councilmember Butler, you like to reframe your motion? There hasn't been any action taken on it, so you can reframe it, or we can get a friendly amendment.
I'd like to reframe the motion that we grant the special use permit as outlined in the ordinance presented.
There's a motion that we adopt the ordinance for the special use permit, granting the special use permit. Councilmember Martin Rogers, is your second still stand?
Yes.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? Councilmember Cummings, you have discussion?
Oh, I'm sorry.
All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries. Next up is, can I get a motion to open the floor for a public hearing on item number 2?
So moved, Madam Mayor.
Second.
Then properly seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries. The public hearing on the zoning application 2024 RZ03-12, request to rezone property located at 1910 Phillips Avenue from R1A Urban Residential Zoning District to R3 Multifamily Residential Zoning District with variances is now open. Mr. Brown, would like an overview from staff.
Yes, Madam Mayor. Ms. Smith, if you could come and give an overview.
It's the same thing. You had it open, just hit next slide. Where's next? Move it forward. Just move it forward for viewing. Yeah, here. Good evening. In reference to case number 2023 RZ-03-12, property located at 19 Phillips Avenue. The applicant is BRG Consultant. The current zoning is R1A, which is our urban residential zoning district. The proposed rezoning is for R3, which is our multifamily. The applicant is requesting to rezone the property from R1A to R3 to develop a new family building development. The applicant initially sought a concurrent variance for relief from the rear yard setback and to reduce the rear yard setback from utilizing an existing foundation. Since then, the applicant have withdrawn that request for the variance. It's no longer needed. As stated, the zoning currently is R1A, which is our urban residential zoning district. The future land use map is redevelopment neighborhood. In the redevelopment neighborhood, the vision and some of the goals are stated, such as these neighborhoods will include an assortment of housing types, such as single family, two family, and multifamily developments, which this proposal is consistent with. Specifically, some of the typical zoning districts in the redevelopment neighborhood is R1, RL, R1A, RT, which is our residential townhouse, and our R2 and R3, which is multifamily. And here is a copy of the site plan as proposed by the applicant. Staff and Planning Commission recommended approval. Planning Commission recommended approval to rezone the petition to change the zoning from R1A to R3 multifamily zoning district. The zoning petition is in compliance with the comprehensive plan as redevelopment neighborhood character area, supports an assortment of housing types to include the R3, which is proposed. And the Planning Commission also recommended conditions that all city code ordinances, such as the zoning development standards, are adhered to, including but not limited to landscaping buffer density requirements as stated in the comprehensive plan.
Did I hear you say something was withdrawn?
The variance petition, the concurrent variance petition that was associated with the property, it was asking for a setback reduction, and it was no longer needed.
Interim City Attorney, I'll come to you after the public hearing, ask about that part. Okay, we're in a public hearing. Anyone desiring to speak in favor of the request to rezone property located at 1910 Phillips Avenue from urban residential to multifamily come forward at this time?
Good afternoon. My name is Whitney Fuller, 900 Murphy Avenue, Southwest Atlanta. I'm the applicant. And I wish to ask for a deferral on taking action on part of the council until next month, when I have the opportunity to meet with the community again and some of the adjacent neighbors to provide them an update as well as counsel on design plans.
Okay. Anyone else desiring to speak in favor? Anyone desiring to speak in favor of the request to rezone property located at 1910 Phillips Avenue? Anyone desiring to speak in opposition to the request to rezone property located at 1910 Phillips Avenue from R1A urban residential to R3 multifamily residential? Anyone desiring to speak in opposition? Anyone desiring to speak in opposition? Can I get a motion to close the public hearing? It's been moved and properly seconded. Any discussion?
Yes. I have a question for Ms. Kimberly.
That's not during the public hearing. After we close the public hearing, then we'll open the floor up for discussion.
Okay.
I'll come to you first. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carried. Sounds like we need a motion to open the floor for discussion and possible action. Is there a motion?
Motion to open the floor for discussion and possible action.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Councilmember Cummings.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Director Smith, I had a question about, I know with the original, she had a request to move the rear setback from 25 feet to 16 feet 8 inches. Now you're saying with the new, was it because of the new site plan that's not applicable anymore? She didn't have to have a variance for it?
It's not applicable anymore because the site plan was changed at the Planning Commission stage. I made a reference to that in the presentation on last Monday as well.
Okay. All right, I needed some clarification on that, so we did need the variance. And one more question on, this is for the applicant. She can, I mean, I know she's withdrawn the application, but I just want to have a question.
Hi.
The number of units that you're building, because in your, I think it's your letter of intent for the rezoning application, it has on here, you're doing 12 units. So are you doing 12, 8, or 4? Because I know when we spoke last week, there were 2 duplexes, which would give you the 4 units, but your letter of intent is stating that you're looking to build 12 units.
4 units, as it was stated before. We've been collaborating over the months with the Planning Commission and the planning staff, and it was reduced to 4 units.
So it was reduced to 4 units. Okay, thank you. I yield, Madam Mayor.
All right, I don't see anyone else in for discussion. The applicant has requested deferral. It is on the agenda tonight for action. So it is up to council at this point whether or not to grant a deferral or to move forward with making a decision on this item tonight. Councilmember Shropshire.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that is deferred until next month.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? I guess my question is that there wasn't an indication of how long the deferral request was for. Next month is logical based upon making sure things stay on the agenda,
So,
but does
me-
the applicant?
Let me go back and restate it.
No, your motion is fine. They haven't given us, I'm just asking staff, I mean, because if we defer it for a month, we'll be back at a month, and they might be requesting another
I was
deferral.
gonna give a date, it's to, after Center Park meeting, so until, when is the next council meeting, the third meeting in August? We're deferring to August the 19th.
The applicant wished to bring it back to the next available meeting, which is that third Monday of the month.
So what's today? Today is the 15th. Our next meeting after 30 days would be that. Councilmember Shropshire has restated the motion. No action has been taken, so that's allowed, that this item be deferred until
August 19th.
our August the 19th meeting. Do we want to have a discussion on it on the 12th, or we're going to wait till the 19th, at work session? It won't come back on the agenda for action until then, but it might be worth having a discussion on the 12th.
I would recommend work session as well.
Okay, so for deferred, the motion is to defer the item for action until August the 19th. And it's been seconded. And although, any other discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries. It can be on the work session on the 12th just for an update, but the action won't be till the 19th.
Thank you.
Madam City Clerk, do we have any public comments this evening?
Yes, we have 2 public comments this evening.
Thank you. Chapter 2, Section 2-2002, BB Rule 28. The public may speak during the public comment section of the agenda. Speakers must complete a comment form prior to the start of the meeting. Subject may include any subject of choice. There will be a 3-minute time limit for each speaker. Speakers that have signed up to speak may give all or part of their time up to 3 minutes to another speaker for a total of 6 minutes of speaking time. Speakers may address the council only once during this time of the agenda. Speakers must identify themselves and their address prior to speaking. Questions from the speakers may not be addressed during the public speaking section of the agenda. East Point residents will have priority over other speakers. There will be a total of not more than 60 minutes for the public speaking section of the agenda. Speakers may only address the presiding officer. Speakers shall observe all rules of decorum. No debate, disrespect, or obscenity shall be tolerated. The presiding officer shall rule any such individual out of order that fails to comply with the foregoing. Madam City Clerk, you can call the first speaker.
Up first, we have Ms. Marie Terry.
Good evening, Madam Mayor. Marie Terry, 2855 Civil Road. I just want to speak on the shooting, and I want to thank you first of all for what you said today about the young lady that got shot, because I did know her and her children. Thank you so much for that. And I was going to speak on that anyway, because it happened in River Park. I did give you guys some pictures to look at with the shooting, how the houses got shot up, because I was up all night. First, I thought it was firecrackers. So I said, oh, this is shooting firecrackers. I laid back. Then I seen all the police lights. So I did get up to go out my back door to see East Point putting the little yellow things down for the bullets, because it went from Cedar and Palm all up to my driveway. And the lady that had the block party, she did come to River Park neighborhood meeting and asked for some security. And I told her she could talk to Chief Buchanan. I guess she didn't do it because her son being a rapper. But that night there, it was the scariest thing that I ever seen. And I had neighbors that come to me and talk to me. Mr. Rodney in the back of me, his house got shot up 4 times. Thank God he wasn't at home. The Mexicans on Palm, there was about 2 houses. It was actually a street over. Their house got shot up. The lady on Palm, her house got duplex. The white van got shot up. And just to think that, and I did speak with Chief Buchanan. he did call me and tell me that he was sorry because no one at that party actually dialed 911. No one. No one dialed it. The neighbors didn't dial for the loud noise. We didn't even have police to come around for the area. I think if they would have came around, then on Washington Ave, Cedar, Palm, and Harlem, they'd have seen all the cars in the streets. They'd have seen all that action. But they didn't dial 911 till the young lady got to Jefferson Avenue. She had already gotten shot, but everybody was shooting. I mean, everybody. They had vendors' trucks. Chief Buchanan said they didn't even get a permit, not even for the block party. I mean, they have it every year. This was the wildest one there was, the wildest. When I got back up that morning, it was a mess in the neighborhood. I guess someone called the street sweeper to get the mess up. They left a good mess. And I hope and I pray that this kind of block party does not happen in any residential areas in the city of East Point. We don't need that anymore. Because I got up, it was like, all I could smell was like sulfur or gunpowder out my back door, just white smoke. But we don't need that. We don't need that anymore. And then I rode around my neighborhood. I got a call from a neighbor over in East Washington. Y'all seen the pictures of all the dump site. This here was also put on ClickFix last year for that very street, Loud Street and Harris Street in East Washington. This is a mess. And I did send it to ClickFix and I did video it. Now you talking about environment and justice? When it's like that, the city is not safe. Someone is dumping. Now those cameras that we have, 196 cameras, I mean, if they're for dumping sites, whether they're for traffic, drugs, or whatever, I beg to differ. Because that's a lot of garbage. Now the area was supposed to have been cleaned off, but I drove my truck down through there. And I know it got some scratches. But I thank you again, Madam Mayor, for what you said. Thank you very much.
Up next, we have Ms. Emily Linnell Bowden.
Hello to everybody. I think I misunderstood what this meeting may have been for, but I'm going to stay to learn because I thought it was about discussing the property taxes. Is it an open forum?
In public comments, you can use your 3 minutes to discuss
Gotcha,
anything that you
gotcha,
like.
gotcha.
But we won't respond during this time, but we are definitely listening and
Gotcha.
taking notes.
Okay. I don't understand this property tax rollback. I definitely need to do some education on that. And I don't understand the double or the persistent increase in the property taxes. And I definitely want to know how it's going to impact us as a community, because it seems like it's never going to stop, the property tax increases. And I really don't understand how we arrive at all these increases. That's all I need to say.
Those are all the public comments we have this evening.
Thank you to everyone who spoke during public comments this evening. We will now move to our consent agenda items 3 through 16. Can we get a motion to approve the consent agenda items?
Madam Mayor?
Yes, Councilwoman Shropshire, it's been moved. Are you in for second?
Yes, I'll second it.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries. Next up, we don't have any agenda items this evening. We are at comments from council. Councilmember Shropshire.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Councilmember Butler.
Thank you so much. I would like to say this to Ms. Terry. Thank you for letting us know about the trouble that happened with the shooting. This was something that I was not aware of. And so I want to make sure that we have further discussions about that. In addition to that, I would like to celebrate the life of my cousin who was 83 years old, who passed this weekend, who was a East Point resident, Ms. Dolores Clemens. She was the nurse of the community, and she would take care of all of those around her. She was the type of person that would go to Costco's and get extra paper towels just so people in the community could have them. So Gus Thornhill will be doing the services there, and I just want to salute her. She would come see my grandmother 2 or 3 times a week just to sit with her, so she will be missed. Thank you.
Everybody went out.
I'm in.
Went out again. Okay, Councilmember, I remember the order, Councilmember Cummings, then Councilmember. So your light's green, so that would be not you. Councilmember Cummings, Councilmember Freely, Councilmember Ziegler, and Councilmember Martin Rogers. Please remember your order. IT, can somebody please come?
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and thank you, East Pointers, for attending the meeting both in person and virtual. Ms. Terry, again, we do apologize for, those things that are going on in the community. We definitely will make sure that PD gets with the community and try and work securely in that neighborhood just to make it a safe environment for everyone there. I'd also like to make an announcement that Councilmember Mitchell and myself, we're partnering with East Point's Parks and Rec and Word of Faith Love Center for our back to school book bag giveaway. It's going to be Saturday, July 27th at Sykes Park. The time is from 9 to 1 o'clock. We're going to have fun, games, food. We'll be giving away 250 backpacks. Want everyone to come out. We are doing supply donations at all the our Ward C churches, so they will be doing the supplies as well. We'll give book bags out to the students and supplies that we collect at the churches. And also, I see a representative here from our Cleveland Avenue, which is a partner also, Chick-fil-A, where you can do drop off supplies there. We'll take those supplies to each of the 7 schools that are located in East Point, and those will be supplies that will sit at the front office for students there that may still be lacking some school supplies. So again, want everyone to come out July 27th to Sykes Park from 9 a.m. to 1 o'clock p.m. for our back to school book bag giveaway. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just wanted to say a special thanks to Kurt Rush of Ward B and all of the volunteers of the Tri-Cities Friends of Kitties organization for all that they do for the stray cats and kittens in the Tri-Cities area. And a special thanks to Cynthia Roseberry, who helped with a situation with stray cats in Ward A over in Frog Hollow recently. So thank you to Cynthia in particular. And just a reminder for everyone to spay or neuter their pets. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Marie Terry, for coming tonight. I think that it's good to talk about these things. Violence has no home here. Hate has no home here. And hopefully we can, get some more services in River Park and help with the situation. And I would also like to extend my condolences to the Sydney family in Jefferson Park. A young person has passed away, and it's been really impactful. Also like to say thank you to Jeff Reeves for power washing the stairs over in Colonial Hills. The before and after pictures is amazing. So thank you for that. And also thank you to Thomas Mangram for being very responsive in your emails and for taking care of issues as they come in. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Madam Mayor. And what I would like to announce is that July 27th, there will be a teacher back to school supply drive in order to help our teachers that are located not only in the city of East Point, but also those surrounding cities. This drive is geared toward teachers only on Saturday, July 27th from 1 o'clock p.m. until 3 o'clock p.m. And it is going to be held at Chapel Hill Church, located at 4330 Washington Road in East Point, Georgia, 30344. I have partnered with some excellent organizations that have come forth, and they are going to be a blessing to the educators in our community. If you need more information, you can please call 404-270-7090. We are still accepting donations I know that in the information piece, I said that all donations would end on July 15th, but we are going to accept donations until July 25th. You can drop off those donations right here at East Point City Hall at 2757 East Point Street. Again, this drive is for our teachers. We want to help support educators and kick them off to a wonderful school year. Thank you.
Councilmember Shropshire.
Thank you. Ms. Marie, for bringing that. It is sad when it's always sad when someone loses their life over something so senseless. And, they're right. Violence has no place. There's a lot of things that has no place. Violence, hate, racism, none of that has no place. And we do have to learn how to work together, to come together, because it is tearing apart the communities and the neighborhood. And we have to continue to try to bridge that gap in the communities and the neighborhood to work together. Because someone lost a mother, a daughter, a sister, kids lost their mother. It's just sad when a life is gone, when anyone's life is lost for whatever reason. But thank you. We'll continue to keep that family uplifted in prayer. I do want to say that we keep Jean Wilson, also Jean Yancey, family in prayer. She lost her son. So we will keep her uplifted in prayer as well. And we'll just continue to pray for our country, nation, and city. Because we saw what happened on Saturday, but hey, we just got to continue to pray. Thank you.
Councilmember Cummings.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. One more thing. For those of you that did not know, Atlanta does have a professional volleyball team. And I wanted to give a big shout out to Director Pinkett and our Parks and Rec Department. They put on a Junior Vibe is the organization that they have for the youth. And they put on a one-day volleyball camp for our youth. So the students that were there, the kids that were there at the summer camp, as well as the volleyball team at Tri-Cities High School, were able to come out and participate in the camp. So again, I want to give a big shout out to Director Pinkett and Parks and Rec for putting on that event that day. Thank you.
On behalf of the city, condolences to Jean Yancey and her family. Jean Yancey has been the president of Neighborhood Association and very engaged for a very long time. So we definitely want to extend condolences to her and her family, as well as the family of Dolores Clemens and the Sidney family. Losing a loved one is never easy, regardless of age. So we want to make sure that we pray for strength, peace, and comfort for them and their loved one and their family, and friends, and just extended family during this difficult time. As well as, again, we can honor the Second Amendment and also protect our communities and protect our kids. Senseless gun violence is just getting out of hand, and there are things that can be done. Hopefully people will cross the aisle and be able to come up with common sense gun legislation that ensures that the guns are not so easily available and on the streets of our community. Thank you, Ms. Terry, for being an engaged East Pointer and bringing information to our attention. I want to encourage people to call 911. Whether you know what's going on or not, you think something might be happening, just call. You see something, say something, because unfortunately there are people who have unpermitted events in our city, who have not gone through the process to get the proper permits to have and block off streets to have events. And so if you don't say anything, we won't know anything. Sometimes it gets to us, sometimes it doesn't. Please, I encourage you, please call 911. See something, say something. Don't worry about whether it is what it is or any of that. That's why we have the men and women in blue in our city under the leadership of Chief Buchanan, who are doing an amazing job protecting and serving our community. And we've allocated the resources that they requested time and time again. But we need to work together and be able to ensure that our community is safe. Please, if you see something, say something, call 911, let the trained, experienced law enforcement officers respond to situations. Do not put yourself in harm's way, but please let us know because that helps us continue to keep our community safe. So again, thank you, Ms. Terry. Any executive session items tonight from legal? Three what? Three legal, okay. Interim Manager Brown? None. Two personnel for council. Anyone else on council have any executive session?
One real estate.
One real estate.
Make it, well, you say 2 personnel, okay.
Anyone else? If nothing further, can we get a motion to recess into executive session for 3 legal, 1 real estate, and 2 personnel?
Madam Mayor, I make a motion that we adjourn into executive session for 3
Legal.
3 legal, 1 real estate, and 2 personnel.
Is there a second? It's been moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries. We're in recess. Can I get a motion to reconvene, please?
Motion to reconvene.
Can I get a second? It's been moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. We need a motion to join the Kroger opioid settlement as a participating subdivision.
As, so moved.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Need a motion to proceed as discussed in executive session in Osborne litigation.
So moved.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Motion to approve LF Barnes Law LLC as, I gotta finish it. We need a motion to approve LF Barnes Law LLC as a city attorney at $20,000 a month.
So moved.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Need a motion to approve the executive session meeting minutes.
Motion to approve executive session meeting minutes. Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
It's been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor?